Okay, good morning. We are live, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. At this time, I would like to remind council, municipal staff, and members of the public in attendance that this electronic public meeting is being live streamed to the public. A video recording of this meeting will be available to the public on the township's YouTube account. I'd like to thank the applicants for their patience and understanding of the need to organize this meeting through the use of technology. The municipality has made every effort to ensure all affected property owners were informed and are able to participate in this planning process. Sue, could you read the note, please?
One of the purposes of the Planning Act is to provide for planning processes that are open, accessible, timely, and efficient. Accordingly, all written submissions, documents, correspondence, emails, or other communications, including your name and address, form part of the public record and will be disclosed, made available by the municipality to such persons as the municipality sees fit, including anyone requesting such information. Accordingly, in providing such information, you shall be deemed to have consented to its use and disclosure as part of the planning process.
Thank you. I'd like to do our First Nations land acknowledgement. As we gather today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest this morning?
None. None here.
Okay, seeing none. The purpose of the meeting is to hear persons' comments in regards to a request for a minor variance with respect to the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2006-26 as amended. The applicant is Robert Baruch, K&A Logistics, Geographic Township of Jones, part of Lot 22, Concession 9, 617 Skeed Road. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lindsay to take us through the file.
All right, thank you. So the nature and extent of the relief being sought from the provisions of the zoning bylaw number 2006-26 as amended, pursuant to the provisions of the zoning bylaw 2006-26, limited service residential exception 64 as amended, to increase the maximum height of a garage from 5 meters to 5.4 meters, pursuant to section 3.35, accessory buildings and structures shall not exceed 5 meters in height in any residential zone or 7.5 height in any commercial or industrial zone. The application, the notice of application and public meeting was sent out to all affected property owners within 60 meters of the subject property and to all public bodies on September 8th, 2022. The notice was posted on the property by township staff on November 8th, 2022. And then I have prepared a minor variance report that I will share my screen now. Oh, it's disabled.
Gwen, could you, I know this is probably tricky, but could you share screen for Lindsay?
Thanks, Gwen. All right, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so as we mentioned already, they are proposing to increase the height from 5 meters to 5.4 meters. So the property is a vacant lot that is 53.4 hectares in area, and it does not have any road frontage. The property is accessed over an unopened road allowance as per a roads agreement from the municipality. A prefab steel garage is proposed to be built that is approximately 300 square meters in size, and it's supposed to be located kind of back here, so about 850 meters from the unopened road allowance. The property is surrounded by crown lands to the north, south, east, and west, and there are some rural lands located over here. This was the sketch that was submitted with the application of the drawing of the proposed garage. As we mentioned, the property is designated as rural in the County of Renfrew official plan, which permits a variety of rural uses, including low density residential. In the zoning bylaw, it is zoned as limited service residential exception 64. The LSRE 64 zone states that a limited service dwelling is permitted on a lot with access over an open road allowance as per a roads agreement with the municipality. Permitted residential uses in the LSR zone include a limited service residential and an attached dwelling unit. All right, so section 45(1) of the Planning Act provides that a committee of adjustment may authorize a minor variance from the provisions of the zoning bylaw if the request maintains the general intent and purpose of both the official plan and the zoning bylaw, if the development is desirable and appropriate for the lands, building, or structure, and if the variance is in fact minor. So as I mentioned previously, the applicant is proposing to build a prefab steel garage that will be 300 square meters in area. And so both the zoning bylaw and the official plan do permit accessory buildings and structures to a residential use. So the property is currently vacant. Section 3.31 of the zoning bylaw states that no accessory use, building, or structure shall be built on a lot until the principal or main use building or structure has been built. However, an accessory building may be permitted in the residential zone, provided a site plan for the future development of the property is approved by the municipality. Site plan was not submitted with this application. However, it is a very large property. So the applicant has indicated on the sketch that the garage will be set back approximately 800 meters from the front lot line, which is along the unopened road allowance, and set back approximately 420 meters from the rear lot line. It would also be set back a minimum of 198 meters from either of the side lot lines. Based on air photography, it appears that the location of the proposed garage will be surrounded by trees on the property. And as mentioned above, the property is predominantly surrounded by crown lands. The proposed garage is not anticipated to have any impact on any of the surrounding properties. Section 3.35 of the zoning bylaw states that accessory buildings and structures shall not exceed 5 meters in height in any residential zone. The proposed height of the garage is supposed to be 5.4 meters, which does not meet the requirement. However, an increase in height of 0.4 meters can be considered minor in nature. The proposed garage generally conforms to the intent and purpose of the official plan, zoning bylaw, and can be considered desirable to the overall development of the property. So the application was circulated to the township's internal departments, and we have the following comments. So the planning services and facilities supervisor indicated that the request to increase the max height of the garage is from 5 to 5.4 meters, and it's a prefab structure which cannot be altered to meet the height restriction of the 5 meters mid height. So the structure is going to be used to store the owner's personal equipment. So he also stated that there has been no civic address assigned to this property. However, the deed, our GIS mapping and impact all have it identified as 617 Skeet Road. So, but there's no such address. So before we can issue a permit, the owner must apply for a civic number. There was no concerns from the chief building official or the fire chief. And the application was also circulated to the adjacent property owners, and no comments were received. So in conclusion, accessory buildings and structures to residential uses are permitted in the official plan and the zoning bylaw. So since the proposed garage is for residential uses, the application can be considered to meet the general intent and the purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The garage is proposed to be located approximately 800 meters back from the front lot line and set back a minimum of 198 meters from the side and rear lot lines. Since the property is predominantly surrounded by crown lands and there's no impacts are anticipated on adjacent properties, the proposed garage can be considered desirable and appropriate for the lands and be considered minor. So I'll just stop sharing and just go back. So we circulated, as I mentioned, to all neighboring properties, and we have not received any comments. We haven't received any comments from any public bodies as well. And I don't believe that there is anything from any verbal comments that were received from the township.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Are there any oral or written presentations by those in attendance? I see there is no one in attendance today, so we will assume there are none. And we'll move to questions, discussion by council. Any questions from council?
None here.
None here.
Okay,
No questions.
all right. Just Lindsay, it does say that a site plan is something that should be provided, but it hasn't been. Is that due to the large size of the piece of property? Because there would be many options.
Yeah, I talked to Bruce about this one, just due to the size of the property. Like they have, as you mentioned, lots of different options of where they can put things. I think it's really important for this to be done on smaller properties, just to ensure that where they're putting the garage, that they still have room to put the septic and the well and a dwelling. So with this one, it's 54 hectares in size, so lots of room.
Okay, I just wanted to check and make sure that was the reason we had not asked for that. Okay, if there's nothing further from, oh, wait, Councillor Proplinski.
Yes, thanks, Mayor Love. I had no questions, but just a comment. And the recommendation is that they obtain a civic address prior to or access from the civic address number from the municipality. Is that being done?
Lindsay?
So I believe that Andy has talked to the owner about it, and that's like one of the requirements that before that he can, for the minor variance to go through, that he'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Before he can build the garage, he'll have to have a civic address.
It is
Thank you.
in the
Thank you.
conditions. It's in the conditions, Councillor Proplinski, and we will be looking at approval as per the County of Renfrew conditions. Okay, so that would be one of the conditions. Anything further from council? Okay, not seeing anything. So Sue, would you like to take us through the minor variance test?
Minor variance under section 45(1). The Committee of Adjustment must consider 4 tests when reviewing a minor variance application. These tests provided in section 45(1) of the Planning Act. The variance is minor in nature.
Yes.
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 The variance is desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, building, or structure.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
The general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw is maintained.
Yes.
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 The general intent and purpose of the official plan is maintained.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
If the application cannot meet all of these tests, it should be refused. All conditions have been deemed that you've said yes to all of the conditions.
Okay, thank you. Could you read the notification?
A copy of the decision of the committee will be sent to the applicant and to each person who appeared in person or by counsel at the hearing and who has filed with the Secretary Treasurer a written request for notice of the decision. If you wish to be notified of the decision of the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Madawaska Valley in respect of this application, you must submit a written request to the Secretary Treasurer of the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Madawaska Valley. If a person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of the Committee of Adjustment to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Madawaska Valley before the decision is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Madawaska Valley before the decision is made by the Committee of Adjustment, the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal unless, in the opinion of the tribunal, there are reasonable grounds to do so.
Okay, thank you, Sue. I will move forward then with the committee's decision, which would be a resolution to grant application A-7/22 Baruch. I have a resolution that the Committee of Adjustment approves minor variance file number A-7/22 Baruch as per the County of Renfrew conditions. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion on the recommendation? Councillor Proplinski, did you wish to discuss the recommendation?
No, you were asking for the vote.
No, I hadn't got there yet, but
had my
that's
hand up.
okay. I'll just call the vote now. All those
And
in
you're
favor.
also you're also breaking You're also breaking up very badly.
Okay.
I just heard I could hear every third word. So I will, maybe if I shut off my video, it may help.
Yes, try that. And you'll just have to vote by telling me whether you're in favor. Okay, all those in favor,
Favor?
and that's carried. And with that, I will declare the closing of the meeting. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You.